About to get everything ready, and we'll be live in a second. Yo, yo, yo. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. How we all doing? How's everybody feeling? What up, Luco? How you feeling, brother? Thank you for coming on in. We're talking about the financial markets today. Tonight, I'll be going over the coronavirus, but tonight, I'm just doing crypto. Trading 24/7 all the time. I want to show you my top trade of the day. I'm up 15% on Tezos. I got in last night, or yesterday at 2:50 p.m. I like making 16% in less than 24 hours. If you do too, then let's get into the stream and let's get into it. If you're watching it on Instagram right now and you want to see more of an interactive feel, then by all means, please hit the link in my bio. It'll send you to the YouTube feed, and that's where I'm streaming live right now, where I'm showing you my trades of the day. So, all right. Okay, guys. So here's the account. Here's trades of the day. Up 15.8% on Tezos at a $250 buy. Just so you can see that I do make money. I am not claiming to tell you how to trade, and that I actually don't know how to trade. So it's extremely important to be transparent. There's a lot of guys selling stuff out here on YouTube, and they got nothing. Like, they're not saying anything. So, like, they're just like, oh, they'll show you how to chart, but they're not putting any money in it. You know, they're making money off you going to them, going to their sites. They're making money off of selling things to you, affiliate links and whatnot, but they themselves are not personally actually making the trades. I am making the trades. If I tell you something, I'm making it. And sometimes I don't have enough capital. Like, I'm in too many things, and I'm still going to show as many different setups as I can. Now, here's the trade of the day that I made last night. It was Tezos. Now, why Tezos? What's going on with that? What made it appealing? Well, when we look in here on the 30-minute, actually maybe it was the 6-hour, we have what's called, this is basically a bull flag. When you see a green move like this, but now see, this is going to retrace soon. Like, I would be advised now to begin to start taking some profits off the table. I've already moved my stop loss up to 260. So I'm guaranteed to make 15% on this trade right now. If you would like, I would wait for a retrace at this point, but I'm just showing you how I got into the trade. Basically, this is what's called a bull flag right here, or even a rising wedge. Now, a rising wedge has a 68% chance of a break to the downside, meaning normally this shape right here will go down. And we did. Look, we went down here, but this is what's called a V-shaped recovery. It means, boom, but we got right. That wick means there was so much buying pressure here that people just felt like that was a great time to buy. Another thing about this asset, it gives you 6% a year. That's right. Tezos, which is a cryptocurrency you can buy on Coinbase, it gives you 6% a year, folks. 6% a year in Tezos. So, in my opinion, even if you held it and it goes down 10%, you're really only down 4% if you're willing to hold it for a year. So, wave. I hit my waves, man. Okay, so the cool thing about that is, if it does break out of a rising wedge, it usually goes parabolic. Now, it's already kind of going parabolic here, and you can see it broke out of a rising wedge kind of similar right here. Now, I think this is going to defy gravity, and here we are overbought, like extremely overbought now. Like, this is the highest this has ever been in this region. It's about time to take some profits. If we go to 270, 275, 280, wow, we're filling up that wick right now. I'm going to go back to the 30-minute. And if you understand why I'm switching time frames, it's because each of these candles represents a moment in time, right? If I'm on the 30-minute time frame, then each of these candles represents 30-minute. And let me park on a candle right now. And if you see up here, you see OHLC. That's open, high, low, and close. So we open at 250. The high was 258, the low was 249, and we closed at 250. So this is what that candle is telling you. Well, I like to do a 30-minute candles because it just shows me like kind of more what's happened. Like in an hour, I can see 4 candles, right? If you switch to 4-hour candle, each candle is only 4 hours, and so on and so forth. You can go to the daily. Even the daily is oversold. What is this right here? This is an oscillator. It's called the Relative Strength Index. It measures the momentum of a move. And let me show you that. Basically, if you go into a larger time frame, something like 5-minute, and I can kind of show you how this works. Now, I make these white lines myself by adding what's called a 70 and a 30 parameters. So basically, I want to see the price go out of these areas. Now, when the price gets down in here below 30, this went all the way to like 2, a 2 level. And you can see the levels here on the right. Like, that's where I'm getting this to. Let me move this. See here? See, it goes down. Actually, no, it was 11.91. So when it gets down here, it's what's called oversold, meaning there's not many more people to buy or sell it. Because think about it, if we have so many people trading a market, and eventually the majority of the people in the market have sold and made a decision to sell, how many more people could sell the price down? They can't. Therefore, that's a type of time when you want to buy. So here, this would have been a huge signal to buy because we're oversold. So you buy right here, and look, you would have rode this whole wave up. I mean, if you could hold on, sometimes maybe you would have taken profits a few times, but it would have been an entry point, is what I'm saying. Look for the next time we're below. Here's a nice low point, and boom. Look, you would have gotten these gains here. And just to give you an idea of what those gains are, so look, we buy here on this dip. 28%. So my point is you can trade RSI. It's not going to happen every time, and you want to look for confluence on what's up here. This is the MACD, the moving average convergence and divergence. And what this is this basically shows you basically when it's a lagging indicator, so it happens a little after the fact, but it shows what may happen to it. Basically, when this blue line you'll see crosses the red line, like right here, we see the price go down because it's telling you the momentum of the move is over. And then we have this histogram. When the red histogram starts turning white, that means the move is starting to deplete. So basically in this section here, where the red is white and the green is green, that's where the move is made, you can see. Once the green starts turning white, it's kind of where the move starts to turn. And then look, the blue crosses the red, boom, price goes down. Look, blue crosses the red, price goes down. Blue crosses the red, price goes down. But then we see here, blue crosses the red, price goes up. Blue crosses the red, price goes up. Now we're having a curve right here. This is curving down. We are getting pretty close to being overbought, but we still have some movement here on the 5-minute chart, but it's a very small chart. So that means in the next 5 to 10, 20 minutes, we may get up into here, and then it's time to close this trade, in my opinion. It's time to take profits and move on to the next trade. What is that? What are you doing? All right, yeah, so, sorry, I got a little thrown off there. Okay, so basically, I'm showing you these two instruments, and these are basically beginner traders. There's far more instruments you can start adding, and it gets more and more complex, but this is just how you get started. You add the MACD, you add the RSI, you add some price action, and you also want to add what's called moving averages. What are moving averages, and why are they helpful? Let me explain. I figured I have a lot of friends now watching the channel, and I know they don't trade that much, so I just want to show them why I do what I do and how I come up with what I come up with. Now you're going to see the yellow line, the blue line, this pink line, this red line, and this white line. These are moving averages, meaning this is the price in an average period on a logarithmic scale graphed. So basically this is where the price really wants to be on average, okay? And now the price is above average, meaning it's a little high, it's getting into the higher zones. When a lower moving average crosses a higher moving average, we call those golden crosses, and they're actually potential moves. So here, look. If you go right in here, we have the white line below the 200. So it's always bearish when a lower moving average is below a higher one, and meaning, so we have 5 moving averages, the 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. And they represent days. One is the 21-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, the 80, the 100, and the 200. So these moving averages can tell me when a move is about to be made, because when the 21 wants to start crossing over the 300, see right here, this is where this move really started. You can see the 21 is crossing. That's a golden cross right there. And boom, boy, did that golden cross play out. Let's see how much gains were made if you were to buy when the 21-day moving average crossed over the 200. 24% gains. And how long did it take? Since February 8th. That's beautiful, guys, right? Since yesterday. Boom. I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So just kind of teaching you guys how to set this up. And these are 3 indicators you can add. They're pretty simple. I have a 5 MA, I have a MACD, and an RSI. Just 3 indicators that I'm using. Okay. I did take a course at Signal Profits with Jacob Canfield. I really, really suggest it. It was only $100, and it was like a 3-week course. Basically, they give the information in 3 different weeks. I took it with a bunch of other people, so you could talk. We had a webinar every night where we could discuss what was going on. It was amazing. It was an awesome class. I still talk to Jacob to this day. We actually became friends through Twitter and social media. He likes some of my videos sometimes, leaves a comment, and he's one of the biggest traders here. If you look at him, Google him. If you check him out, Jacob Canfield, #1 ranked Bitcoin analyst on TradingView. And he's been like, he become, you know, basically an internet friend of mine, you know, and we both, you know, when you're a trader, you spend a lot of time online. You spend a lot of time on the computer. So you got to socialize, you got to have some fun. And that's what happens. See, look, bought the dip on the USD pairs, all in profit after a strong bounce. Nice job to anyone that snagged those this morning. We'll be looking to take profit later. Off to the gym. See? I snagged XTZ. Boom. So yes, I don't go to the gym. I usually work out at home. But he's awesome to follow. Check him out. And basically, he kind of taught me how to trade. He's the person who taught me how to trade. That's like with everything. You know, if you want to learn something, you should find someone that knows way more than you and is extremely experienced. So I researched the world. I knew Jacob was extremely smart. And I basically buddied up to him, man. I tried to talk to him as much as I could. I asked him for advice all the time. Anything I could, I tried to get information from him all the time. You know, and I know he's a busy guy. He has 36,000 followers or more. How many followers does he have? I don't want to downplay him. He has almost 50,000 followers. You know, he's one of the most known traders of crypto traders in the United States. So, and he's awesome. He's down to earth. He's a nice dude, and he actually looks out for people. He's a real person, in my opinion. So, all right, babe, will you text my mom? Tell her I'm live. All right. Get thrown off sometimes by the real world. Now, a trade that didn't go well for me, let's talk about what didn't happen and why. I wanted to play Ethereum Classic, and I thought it was a good play here because I saw it here in this trend line. But what I had is I had the trend line like this, and it broke back down. And I got in at like 11.98, and I ended up getting stopped out for a $100 loss at about 11.60. So, but you know what it is? Like, it's kind of like I timed it, but not perfectly. Now almost is the time to buy it because if you see here, we're coming out of that MACD movement, which was kind of, you know, done. Like, that was the end of the downside. There's the potential we could have this big move, something like this here. Like, we're kind of here now. See? These look very similar. Even the curve before it. Down and up, down and up. And where are we here? We're kind of in the same place on the RSI. See that? This is curving. So it could be an entry right now for Ethereum Classic. It's very interesting because it probably should come back up here like this. Back up to the trend line. Now, whether it continues or just bounces back down and then eventually goes up or eventually breaks down. So we have the two potentials are this and this. So we as traders, we're not soothsayers. We can't tell the future. What we do is we basically set things up for ourselves so we know the potentials of each one and we plan for both things. This is actually kind of a buy right now. Interesting. Makes me want to make a buy on this. Thinking I may actually trade it. Definitely is a chance that I trade this right now. It's kind of starting to make a move to 11.59.60. I just think it's going to make a move here on this MACD and come back up to the top of this trend line. Very possible, for sure. So, that's a potential trade I'm actually putting out for you guys right now is Ethereum Classic. And I did say the same thing yesterday, but I didn't nail the bottom of this trend line. But now it's kind of seeming like it's over. Also, didn't have a lot of downside. Like, the downside just came right to the trend line. Like, we didn't fall out of the shape that we're in. This is a flag, and the flag has a target of 17. So if you were to buy now, so this is how I'd play it. I'd put like $2,000 on this, okay? I'd buy it right now at 11.62, and I would put a stop loss or 5%. Right here would be my stop loss. So I could only lose $100, 5% of 2,000. But if I made money, I could make $1,000, 48% gains. So I'm only going to risk $100 to try to make $1,000. It's a 10-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Look at it pumping now, 11.58 to 11.63. See, pumping. We just saw the 5 cent move right now. Could be basically bouncing off the trend line. Yeah, we're getting our green candle bounce off that trend line and begin its ascend back up. It's very, very possible. And it is in an uptrend, as you can see. You know, it's been steadily climbing. So, this is interesting. Risk $100, try to make $1,000. I think that's a great idea. And those are the type of trades that I take over and over again. And eventually, say you lose 2 of those, but then you make 1. You make 1,000 and you lose 300. You're up $700 and you only made 1 of 4 trades correct. You were 25%. But because of your risk reward ratio and because of the way you're trading, you're actually going to end up in the clear. I do this 5-6 months straight. I've been trading for 7 years now, but I've never traded, day traded like I trade now. Like I make a trade a day, if not a couple a day. And some days I don't trade. I'll be honest. There's a few days where I take the day off and I don't trade, but it all depends. If you'd like to leave a comment here, please, I want you to ask a question. When people don't ask me questions, when I don't interact with people, it drives me nuts. I do this literally for the interaction, pure interaction with people. I want to spread this knowledge, spread the love. Let's get into Bitcoin, what we're talking about, what I see for Bitcoin, where I see us going. Okay. Now, if you've been following my channel, I've been basically showing you that Bitcoin has been in many different little patterns. Okay. If we go to the daily, turn the VPVR off because it makes everything slow. It's a very annoying indicator. Now, Bitcoin is in this giant bilateral triangle here. Boom, 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 boom. And I think it's on the way out of the triangle, about to break out. Now, what is the target of that triangle? The target is $27,200. That's right. And how do I get that? You take the base of this, which is this line here, which is the base of this triangle, and you drag it over here to where you think the triangle will break out, somewhere on this trend line, and you get yourself a target. And these tend to break out really well too. So this is a very good possibility that we could see that. Of course, it's not going to happen in a streamlined position. Like, it's not going to just keep going up like that. What it will do is it will retrace, things will happen, and then it'll power through. But that's what I see happening for Bitcoin on the long term. Let's get into the more short term. Like right now, if you wanted to make, if you want to take 10 grand and make 500 or 700 or $1,000 today, or, so be it. So here we go. This is more a falling wedge, honestly. Okay, so Bitcoin is in a flag here, and this flag, if it breaks out properly on that pole, going to 10,290, 10,300. I basically have the idea that Bitcoin should go to $10,400. And right now we're sitting at 10,124. Yeah, my target was 10,400 for Bitcoin. Here we go. I trade Tether, so I do the USD Tether one. So here, we were in a bull flag here. We broke out. Now this bull flag, you take the length of the pole and you add it, and that's your target. So my target is 10,444. So I've been sitting in a Bitcoin trade trying to get to 10,444. We'll see what happens to try to get there and go from there. So very interesting. All right. So I see short-term 10,400, another $300. From there, we may retrace back to this line or maybe this line here. There seems to be a lot of support here at 9,600. It really did hold for us. Or maybe 10,000 becomes new support. That's what I would love to see. I'm not sure what will happen right there. I can't predict that. Right now, all I can say is I would get in. I basically was telling everyone to get in here on this flag and to ride this flag to 10,400. And then from there, we'll see what goes on. I do think we'll just go up and down, and I do mean in the long term, we are going back up. Now, this is a falling wedge here that was inside of that giant triangle. This is just a falling wedge. So we have, this is like micro, this is semi-micro, and then we have macro, right? This picture sends us to 13,500. So that's more temporary. And this is when it breaks out. Look, it did break out. See, look, we have a low, we have a lower low, a lower low, a lower low, a lower low, and then a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. This trend has been broken. Bitcoin is now on an uptrend, clearly defined. So I was telling friends that I know, people that want to hedge, people with a lot of money, a couple of my friends are multimillionaires. I'm telling them, hey man, you want to turn that multi-million, you want to become a billionaire, like you really want to become a billionaire, or you want to become 100 millionaire, something like that, You know, you got 50 mil and you want to turn that into 3, 4, 500. Crypto's going to do it. Crypto's going to do it for you. You're going to have to get into crypto, honestly. Curves getting tighter. What does that mean, curves getting tighter? Let me know. Grant Gilmore. Nice to see you, Grant. Thank you so much for coming on. Curves getting tighter. I don't know what that means. Interesting. All right. Under the radar that I like, I've been trading this, and I've actually held this for years, ICX. Why ICX? Because ICX is in with the Korean government, South Korea. They're going to run the entire South Korea. A lot of moves going on. Here we are finally breaking out of this downward falling wedge as well. So that's a good sign. Looks like we retraced here. I would pick up some Icon for a long-term, mid-term hold, like 2-3 months. I could definitely see Icon at $1.20 coming up not too long from now. So just going to heed my warning here, guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, Litecoin on a move. Litecoin really just was going down, down, down. We bottomed here at 35, 32. To buy Litecoin on December 18th at 34 and to have doubled your money in about a month and a half, 2 months time, awesome, right? You can't beat that. 100% anything in less than a year, 100% in less than 3-4 months, amazing, amazing. Tesla is the only thing that did that, and maybe some penny stocks out there that people are looking at. Let me wave to everybody here on Instagram on the live. And when I wave, it hits the camera, but there we go. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Evidence-based dentistry, how y'all doing? Tony Trans, Kavasar Kadri, Nula 779999999999. Harsh. Let me go through everybody here. Bangel 15. Aiksan Sergiveki 541. Jewel America. Luco. Okay, cool. Cool. And shout out to Grant Gilmore as well. I really like XMR, which is Monero. Monero is my dude. It's kind of had resistance here in this land. Boom. It's got some more resistance here and some more resistance right here. We got strong support at 66. This green zone, in my opinion, is the accumulation zone for Monero. It is in a spiking uptrend, though. I feel like it will have to kind of take a little bit of a retrace. Right now, we're getting into the overbought area in the 4-hour. Remember, oversold down here, overbought up here on the RSI. What is the RSI? It's the Relative Strength Index. I have a lot of friends that don't know how to get into crypto. If you want to get into crypto, where I would advise you to go is to Coinbase. But there's going to be actually other places too. I'm going to find out. But Coinbase is pretty cool. Shows you what's going on. You can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, all different things. Like my wife has created a portfolio. She's up 30%. 30% with my guy. And she bought the thing she wanted. I just kind of showed her how to do it, guided her through the process. She's in the green. And she doesn't have her money in the US dollar, folks. Keeping your money in USD is not a good idea. It's a unlimited printable asset that's extremely inflationary. Bitcoin is inflationary. A blow off top. You think we're just gonna erupt and just fly up? This guy's saying we think we got a blow off top here. I see what you're saying, but it's not as vertical as Tezos. You know, like look at Tezos. Look at XTZ. I mean, that's like when I can't even draw a line. Usually when I know it's I know when a security or an asset is getting time to take the money. This is how I know. Watch. I make a trend line, and I have to make 2 trend lines to follow the trend. When I have to make 2 trend lines to follow the trend, and if you're like, what is he saying? I'll show you. Like this. When I have to make 2 trend lines to follow the trend because it's so parabolic. Like, look, boom and boom. Like, this is going to have to retrace. You know, that's a straight white line. I mean, it's very rare to see that. Look, in this asset's lifetime, there was one there, couple, like, this is like one of the biggest pushes it's had in a while. You know, from $2 yesterday all the way to $2.66. I mean, that's over 25% gains in a very, very short period of time. And that's on a Saturday. while you're at home hanging out with your family. You can make some money while you're hanging out with your family. So, what up, Argentina? Shout out to Tammy Tran. Thank you so much for coming on my live stream. I really appreciate that. We're talking about Bitcoin today. We're going over all different cryptocurrencies. If you want to see my screen sharing, please hit the link in the description below, and it will take you to this live that I'm doing here on YouTube. That's why I'm not staring at the Instagram live a lot. You guys are just listening to me. It's really for like listening purposes if you're in the car, stuff like that. Can't get to a computer. Okay. Now there's some crazy news too going on with Bitcoin. And I wanted to get into that as well. I like to play Kava as well. Kava's on a nice little bump down. It went all the way to 139. Now it seemed to find support. An SR flip. What is an SR flip? All right, we're going to start with Kava. This is a new asset. The newer the asset, the shorter of a time frame, because like the 4 hour may not give me that much as the 1 hour. Okay. Wow. What do I see here? I do see a complex head and shoulders, meaning, and a double top. Boom. But it almost seems like that was the double top. See this M here? And how you measure the move of a double top is you take the M and then you bring that line to the bottom of the M, usually right around here. So the measured move was like right here, and it actually went even further than that on some heavy volume, but it got bought up pretty heavily. And now we're kind of recovering here, and we are still on somewhat of an uptrend, as you can see. Like so, right? What would happen here? Where would I accumulate? Well, let me show you if I was going to trade this, because I'm thinking of it. I basically do this to like 20 different assets until I find the one that sits in the best pocket poised to make money. Trading isn't really about being in the trade. It's about preparing for trades. You spend hours preparing for a trade. You may only be in the trade for 10 hours. You may be preparing for 3 days. The money is made during the trade, but the money is also made during the preparation period where you're doing heavy work and you're watching all your assets and you're basically charting. You have to love it. I'm so passionate about numbers. I love drawing these lines. Like, I don't know what it is about my brain, but I love it. I absolutely love doing it. It's like something, it's like my calling. I really, really, truly love to trade assets. It's, even if there was no money in it, I feel like I would do it just to see what would happen. Like, oh, I went in at 1 and did it go to 10? And I went to this, did that, do that, you know? So here, the first thing you do is see how you look for tops and bottoms, okay? And I put what's called support and resistance lines. Like here, we clearly had resistance at 112. The price couldn't get through it. We came back down, but we clearly had support here at 103. The price liked to sit there. And see, usually old resistance becomes new support. And let me show you how that happens here in the price. So now the price keeps going, and it wants to go up again. And it hits, look, that same place, 113. Can't get through. Comes back down. Now it seems to have a little more support here at 105. Now we come back in again, and we just can't seem to break 113, 112 area. Again, come back down. Here we can't even get that close all the way. We just can't get that close. Hey, I'm live right now, man. So just jump on the live stream. I'm on live on Instagram. If you go to Instagram, hit the link. It'll take you right to the... but hit the link on Instagram. Brings you to the YouTube. So basically, this goes up here. Bounces off the trend line. Okay. I always get like, I'm so focused. I do that because that guy, like, he's really into trading. Normally, I wouldn't even answer that call, but he's really into trading, and I feel like he would want to see this. So, okay. So basically... where were we here? Okay, yeah, so we hit here, and here we couldn't even get by. We had new resistance that came down to 110. But we see this whole, basically, you can kind of draw an area, though. So this was heavy resistance for a while. So it should be heavy support, honestly. That's usually what happens. You could see, it took a look. We got shot through it here. Couldn't make through it there. I'll extend this all the way here, because that's insane. 1, 2, 3, almost 4. The fourth time we blaze through it, but then we break back down. But then this holds support here, 108. Now we bust back up, okay? We do these huge highs, and where do we end up finding support? Right here at what? 112, 113. This line hit it right there pretty hard, okay, on the 7th of February. And now we're on our way. Could we come back down and bounce off this trend line? It's very, like we did here, look. How many times did we go in and out of this little range? We did it for a bit. But my theory is if you get in at 119, the smallest downside you have is 113. We should hold support. So you could put a stop loss here at like 110, 111. That is about a 10% risk already. or like an 8% risk. And the thing about that is if it breaks through this support line, then we should see it probably kind of dwindling. It did make a big move here on the MACD. It's still moving up. This shows like it could have like some movement here. Like we could have a big hill coming around, but I think it's going to chop itself out right now for a while and then move up. I would make my first buy. I would get in for $1,000. I'd make my first buy here at 500. I would wait for it to come back down into the support region at 113 to make my second buy. That would dollar cost average me in at 116, and then I would see if I could get a bounce up into this region here. The good thing is we don't have a lot of price action too far away. We have a lot of wicks. We have a lot of wicks. When in doubt, look left, you know. I'm just seeing where I would want to take profit. So 2 different buys, one here, one at 113 if it does break down. If it doesn't, I buy it as it moves up. But yeah, and then that's basically how I would play Kava. My target for Kava, let's see. I would probably take profit here in this line. Because, so one buy would make 18%. The second buy would make 11% of the DCA in there. But definitely a 10% gain coming at you if you can get through this resistance here at 126. And that's what I see for Kava if you'd like to play Kava. So this is breaking down now. See, it got sold down. It's a little sketchy for me. I'm not, but it is in a bull flag that's supposed to be breaking out, as you can see. And it is on the bottom of the trend line. But it gave me trouble last night, this Ethereum Classic trade. So I may stay away from it for now. XRP. XRP at 28, breaking out of this huge channel. Go to the 12-hour and look at this channel it's in. This was also a smaller one here. So you have a pattern in a pattern. And it broke out of this pattern here. Boom. We want to see it break out of the bigger pattern. We have strong resistance at 30 and strong resistance at 50. So if we can go up and break 30, here's where we had a really hard time. You can see we peaked. This was swell. Even in swell, we just 30, came back all the way to 21. Then we went up to 30 again, came all the way down, 20, up a little bit, and then we went down to 17 cents at one point, 17, 18 cents on the bottom of this trend line. And that was the accumulation zone. And look again, my old RSI on the oversold, time to buy, right? So you don't get these amazing times to accumulate. That's why you have to be patient. Honestly, you could trade all day, or you could make 2 trades on the RSI for heavy money because the odds are with you on that fact. You could probably end up a more successful trader in terms of how much money you made. Total 2. This is all the altcoins put together, okay? And we were in a falling wedge, but we broke up. And this is like a cup and handle too. Pretty big cup and handle. We bottomed here. So I think it's on and on for the altcoins, but we are getting into the overbought region now. So it may be time to cool off, and Bitcoin may go on a little bit of a run here. It's interesting to see this. We are very overbought on these assets, on the daily too. We're getting into that overbought. On the 4-hour, we're overbought. Wow, on almost all time frames, we're pretty close to the overbought region or in the overbought region. Maybe time for a slight pullback from some of these, like maybe just a dip here and then move on. We do see we have support here and support here. So that's kind of that line. So we either go up to the next white line or we break down maybe into this region here. And it's starting to break down slightly, so that'd be another reason to take profits on XTZ right now. Look, it did. Look, it broke down to 262. Make sure my stop loss gets hit. I'm at 260. See, I was up 330. I just gave away 80 bucks, 14% on that trade. But it's okay. I was willing to do that. My stop loss is at 260, so I'm in the profit. I'll make that money. I did have a feeling that if I wasn't live streaming, I felt like I would have closed that. It was just too high. Like the RSI, it was time to get out, you know. Obvious trades. So you use these indicators and you don't lie to yourself and you do what you have to do, okay? Still some upside potentially though. There's still a chance I don't get hit out at 260 and we make a move up to 270. But we'll see. I won't be greedy. I'll be happy with my moves and we'll go from there. All right. So we went over the assets that I like to play, what I'm looking at. Bitcoin 10,090. If you're new to the stream, I already did Bitcoin, but we're going over it again. It's a bull flag. I see us going to 10,400. From there, I think there's a bit of a retracement, and then we have another move to a higher leg. But on my other time frame here, this is a falling wedge, and I think we're going to get to 13.5, 13.6 area. Actually, what is my exact call? Is 13.520, 13.545. And then if we go all the way to the daily, I show you, or I showed you guys that we're in this giant triangle here. And this giant triangle, this has an upside potential of 27,000, guys. If we break out of this triangle, which we have been, it's a nice bilateral triangle and has a 68% chance of a break to the upside. So with that being said, look out for Bitcoin in the next few months. I would start dollar cost averaging. And remember, 10,000 is still cheap for Bitcoin. So yeah, basically, yeah, 10,000 is still very cheap for Bitcoin. So I believe that, don't think you're late. You're not late. We're still very early. Like a friend of mine said, he works at a hotel. He said in the last few years, he talked to 8,000 people. He's a bartender in Las Vegas. People come in and out all the time, and people trade and in financial stuff. And he talks about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and a lot of people still have no idea what he's talking about. And he said of all the 8,000 people that he thinks he talked to, or, thousands of people, I don't know where he came up with that exact number, but he does talk to a lot of people. He's thinking like 10 or 12 a day for the last few years, 3,000, 2 years, or more sometimes. And he's saying that it's very rare that he talks to someone who actually owns Bitcoin or is trading the asset or any crypto asset. So you are very, very early if you still buy Bitcoin right now. You're one of the earliest people ever, and you're destined to make a lot of money. If you put in, even one kid in 2017, he asked his grandma for $5,000. She gave it to him. He put it in rail blocks, which became Nano. He turned that $5,000 into $1 million in about 6 months, guys. He ended up selling it $680,000. The guy has $680,000 now off of $5,000, paid his mom back. These things happen all the time. For people that aren't in crypto, they don't believe it. They think that's not possible. They're like, oh, no way. And it is very possible. So let's talk about XRP here. Following the outstanding gains since the turn of the year, sentiment across the entire market has flipped bullish. None more so than for XRP, which managed to break a 2-year downtrend by breaching the 28-cent level. Indeed, 2019 became a year to forget for XRP holders. The recent gains, which we see the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, up 47% since January 1st, have injected newfound optimism, on top of which fundamental goings-on for the project suggest further cause for celebration. XRP is back in the game. Technical indicates that a further leg up may be on the cards, and having been on a noticeable upswing since the start of February, the divisive altcoin has succeeded in retaining its gains so far. XRP is amazing. If you don't know what XRP is, it's the distributed ledger technology. They have a deal with SBI, the biggest bank out of Japan. They have a deal with MoneyGram. They have a deal with even some banks out of Switzerland. Right now, they move money in Mexico. They move money in multiple different countries. It's basically a remittance payment system that will be able to move money at lightning speed. Yeah, right now, a SWIFT system is old and it's holding people back, and it's not good. You send your money, it takes a couple days for billions of dollars to move. No one knows where the money is. Ripple would make these transactions in seconds. It would actually unlock $20 billion of money that has to be kept on reserve or that gets actually sent during a transaction. Once the money actually moves instantaneously, the money gets faster. It doesn't have to be held up. Right now, $20 billion is constantly being held up by the SWIFT system. This will be released by Ripple, and it will change how we live the world to this day. Ripple has a lot to talk about, a lot going on. Get yourself a bag of Ripple, man, in my opinion. XRP won't hurt you. If you're planning on holding it for 2 to 5 years, I think you're going to make yourself a nice nest egg. And that's just my opinion with XRP. Again, this is not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. Get yourself a financial advisor or listen to me every day. But just a disclaimer. I even have a legal jargon down there that you can see. All right. But that is XRP, man. Doing good, doing good. China powers down Bitcoin mining farm amidst coronavirus scare. See, this is not good. That's what I'm a little worried about right now. China powers down Bitcoin mining farms amidst coronavirus scare. Chinese authorities are shutting down Bitcoin mining farms in an effort to contain coronavirus spread. Bitcoin mining facility operator Zhang Zuo'er questioned why authorities would be targeting crypto mining. Chinese authorities are shutting down Bitcoin mining farms in an effort to contain the spread of the coronavirus. How does that contain the virus? I'm confused. According to a report by finance manager on Friday, Bitcoin mining pool operator Jiang Zhuo revealed on Weibo that his mining facility, along with others, has been shut down by local authorities. Jiang said police cited the spreading coronavirus as a reason for closing his mining. I have a mine in a remote suburb. The police came and forced all the mining authorities to shut down. It is understandable to take a regular roll call and strictly prohibit going out. But what's the benefit of shutting down the mining machine to prevent the epidemic? He added, maybe all the factories have been shut down and we are no exception. If this continues, most people will die from poverty because will die from the epidemic before they die from the epidemic, you know? Despite the coronavirus scare and the Chinese authorities' close mining operations, Bitcoin's hash rate has continued to rise since the start of the new year. Another thing is we have Russia taking over. We have one of the biggest Bitcoin minings coming into Texas right now. So with that being said, it may not hurt us at all. It actually may undecentralize us from China, as the fact that they were like doing a lot of the mining. So now people like Mike Novogratz, this guy's a billionaire, right? Hedge fund out of Goldman Sachs, if you don't know who he is. On Thursday, former Goldman Sachs partner Novogratz, who is the founder, chairman, and CEO of crypto-focused merchant bank Galaxy Digital, talked about why he still loves gold and Bitcoin and why he prefers Bitcoin to altcoins from an investment point of view. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming of such viewers. Why? What? Why? I don't understand. It's saying I'm having technical difficulties on the stream. Let me just double check my own stream. CEO of crypto-focused merchant bank Galaxy Digital talked about why. No, it seems good. All right, maybe it's just giving me a warning on the studio here. I don't know why. Can you chart IOTA? Yes, I'll chart IOTA for you right now. Sorry if I just missed you. I hope you're there. So let me know you're still there, Grant. I'm charting IOTA for you. What do you want, BTC or USD? I'm going to do BTC because that's usually what people like. I like to trade USD a lot, and then I'll choose to buy more Bitcoin with the USD. That's why if I get hurt in the middle of the night or something, you know. All right. All right. First thing I do is go to like a high time frame and just look at it, see what's going on. So again, this had huge highs. So here it went, no difficulties. So here it went from 4220 all the way up to 4486. If you want to check out the health of the asset. And I know IOTA, it's the Tangle. IOTA's Tangle. Oh, you want USDT? Okay, hold on. IOTA USDT. All right. Okay. So from all-time high of $2.15, and we're sitting here at 31 cents, which would be a nice, right? 6-time gains, 7-time gains. So it looks like we definitely bottomed around 14 cents. So we've now 100%ed. A lot of these coins have 100%ed since December. That's how you know, like, you know, something has changed. So we boom it up. And the first thing I do is I look at my support and resistance lines. It's simple, guys. Maybe I make it look easy. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Okay. We got a little bit here going right there. All right. It's been on a nice uptrend, IOTA. Right? I think it's going to retrace pretty hard, though, in my opinion. I'm just getting my trend line set up here. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to put a fib on this as well. Fibonacci retracement. So I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole right now. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't. Number one, the RSI is coming down. The MACD is falling down. So on the 12-hour too, that means we have more downside to come, in my opinion. Also, we want to see this retrace into the golden pocket, which is in this area here. This is our golden pocket between the 0.5 Fibonacci level and the 0.618. That's between 25 and 2330. So this is where you would want to accumulate. Also, it might slip down. You could even, sometimes you get a little wick here and you get some wick in this action. If it keeps going further than that, this thing is just going to go to zero. But I don't think that's happening. So that's why I would suggest not touching this until it gets into this green area. Yeah, so IOTA, I wouldn't make a trade on this until I saw it retrace into this golden pocket of the 0.5, the 0.618. Now, if it doesn't do that, that's how I trade assets. Like, if they don't come where I want them to come, I don't chase them. So let's see. I'm trying to make another pattern out of this, though, just to see, just to appease all possibilities here. I do think you could make a small trade right now, if you'd like. You get in right here, and it will go to the top of the trend line for a 13% gain. So I believe that that's definitely a possibility. Then you could see the breakdown. It might be a bit of a double top. Sometimes that happens. You know, but if I did that, I would put a stop loss like right here. So to try to get that 13%, I would only be risking. So if we bought right now, let's say, and this is my line of support that it really should hold. So basically, maybe by the lowest wick here. No, you don't want to risk that much. So I'd be doing something like this. I'd risk 2 to 3% to try to get this 13%. If I was going to trade IOTA, that would be the only trade that I see right now. I would not touch this though. Honestly, I would just look at it on a bigger time frame, and I would wait for it to accumulate into this green zone. But on the 4-hour, it may actually come back up here. See, you have just a little 13% move back to the top of the trend line. And I could be kind of wrong. This could go up, and just explode, right, and keep moving. There's a chance that it keeps going. But I just feel I don't like to buy assets that are ripping like that. I like to buy assets as they come back in to the 618 Fibonacci pocket. So that's IOTA. Let me look for bullish divergence. I think I see hidden bullish divergence, right? So the RSI is on a slant. That is hidden bullish divergence right there, meaning that the trend will continue. And we are coming out of the MACD on a curve up. So, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think you will get this 13% gain. So yeah, buy right here, man. Honestly, there is hidden bullish divergence right now. Hidden bullish divergence, what does that mean? Divergence is when you have an oscillator and price and they do not show the same thing. They're diverged. They don't show confluence, right? So what you would do is you look at the RSI and you take a low point here and another low point, like these dips. And you make a line from one dip to the next dip. Usually you want to try to find lows. Like here's a low, there's 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 a, like, see? And the same thing with price. Like there's a low, there's a low, there's a low, there's a low, a little bit of a low here, a little bit of a low there. And even if we were to take that, there's still divergence there, right? If we were to go from here to here. But I like this. I like taking this here. It does show that this trend should continue and we should bounce up into this area. So yeah, cheers to you, man. Kudos. I think yeah, you could take that chance. Honestly, just make it a really slight stop loss. Don't risk a lot. I wouldn't be risking a lot. I wouldn't be buying without a stop loss and thinking it's going up, or I wouldn't be saying, oh, maybe put a 10% down in here. So yeah, I would try to get it down in here. And that's why I DCA, honestly. That's why I like to make a ladder buy. Honestly, yeah. How much you want to put in? 1,500 in IOTA, 500 right now. If it rides up, take some profits. If it breaks through here, another 500, and that's basically, you know, how you can move it. Now, if it breaks down, you bet your 500 here. This goes up a little bit, starts to move down. Get out the trade, have it keep coming down, and then make some new buys down in here in this area. That's how I would play IOTA if I was going to play it. To me, it's just a far too complicated trade. A lot going on. I can share if you believe in it and you want to do a long-term hold or something like that. That's completely different. But if I was just trying to trade this for the day, I think there's better assets out there right now that are breaking out of triangles or have a few better. They have better patterns to play. So yeah. So I'd be wary of that move. Just too much going on there. Bitcoin will hit 100,000 post-halving based on this pricing model. 10,000 ceiling might not be the only barrier Bitcoin breaks. With all the humdrum about whether or not the halving is priced in or not, Bitcoin is showing incredible bullish signs. Already up by over 30% in 2020 alone, the premier cryptocurrency has now broken the $10,000 milestone yet again. The stock-to-flow model predictions more or less align with the current Bitcoin price. See, it goes up, come down, up, come down. We keep going up. We break the all-time highs, and we go to 100,000. It's very, 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 very possible. As Bitcoin approaches 10,000 mark, it's set to break over the S2F prediction mark, the stock to flow. And if it continues, the report noted that the Bitcoin price will push close to 100,000 range after May 2020 halving. Yes, you read that right, 100,000. To add a more realistic note, 900% increase in the next 3 months. The long-term growth trend post the price to be about 13,000 range by the halving. Many in cryptocurrency market have projected that the price could rise, citing this very stock-to-flow model, mainly going by similar movements seen in the commodity markets. Gold, a Bitcoin rival, have a similar model, owing to its limited nature. Plan B cryptocurrency analysis call both gold and its precious metal sidekick silver monetary goods, with the yellow metal having the highest stock-to-flow at 62, which meant that it would take 62 years of production to get current gold stock. Bitcoin currently has a stock of 17.5 million coins and a supply of 0.7 million a year. A stock to flow of 25. This places Bitcoin in the monetary goods category like gold and silver. Bitcoin's market value at the current price is 70 billion. So yeah, it's very interesting. The market value of Bitcoin will be 1 trillion, with the price per coin reaching 55,000 post-May 2020 halving. Plan B predicted based on the model, the market cap 1 trillion for Bitcoin. Regardless of where you look, we're only going up from there. Now, once Bitcoin has a market cap of 1 trillion, it'll rival Amazon, it'll rival Apple. And one of my friends, he doesn't take Bitcoin seriously because it doesn't have a trillion dollar. He was like, oh, these big companies have huge market caps. And the thing is, you want to buy something that's not there yet, right? So you can ride that wave up. If something's already at a trillion, you kind of want to buy an asset that's not there yet. Institutional investors are more bullish on Bitcoin than before. Since the derivatives market began to muster significance in 2018, its growth has been essential for the industry. The futures contracts help chart sentiment around Bitcoin, both customer and price. The latter is expecting the former to pump. According to a recent report by Arcane Research, derivative traders both on institutional-friendly and retail-heavy platforms are expecting a price increase in the next few months based on the contract's premiums. The institutional market is defined by the contracts on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Consider the CBOE left the market a year ago, the BAX volumes are too paltry to make a large picture estimate. On the unregulated front, the retail crowd is represented by Kraken, BitMEX, Deribit, and FTX. Across both categories, in the short term, the outlook is bullish. The analyzed premiums for contract expiring in February and March are well above 20%. To put that into perspective, since the close of October, the average premium for the CME contracts was 10%, guys. And for unregulated exchanges, it was in single digits, sometimes going as low as 1% to 2%. Earlier this year, Bitcoin finally lost momentum. The premiums began picking up and rising above the average. What's even more impressive is the recent premiums on the CME contracts has overtaken the unregulated counterparts, showing a more favorable outlook for institutions. Yeah, I think we're going up hard. We are going to make some big moves in Bitcoin. You're going to see it go from 9,000 to 12,000, another 30% gain. So if you like 30% in the next 2 months, maybe less, I suggest you to start a Bitcoin position. How would you start a Bitcoin position? Let me take you through that just in case you need to know how. Today, I would buy my first piece of Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be brought into 8 digits, 0.0000000. So it can be added into 1 million. 1 million people can own one Bitcoin, right? Pretty cool, right? 0.01. They can all own 0.1 of a Bitcoin. So when you look at this, you make your first buy now, and then you just start dollar cost averaging. Like every week you buy $200, $300, depending on how much you want to allocate. That's how I would trade Bitcoin. And that's how I do trade Bitcoin. That's what my wife did. Actually, she just bought, I think she bought like $600 worth of Bitcoin at 5,124. We were looking at her account last night. And today she doubled it. So she doubled her money in less than a year buying Bitcoin. Pretty awesome. Not many other stocks could do that for you. Besides Tesla and some other big moves, and if you wanted to be a penny stock guy or you wanted to do it constantly. She doesn't trade for a living. She just made a few buys and doesn't look at it, and she doubled her money, So I'm pretty proud of her. It's pretty interesting to see that move. I don't know if you guys read what happened to Dogecoin, Elon Musk and Warren Buffett. Really funny though, hilarious. Really want to talk about it. He basically knew that Warren was going to meet with Justin Sun, and he showed up at a country club. And then when he waited for Warren to go to the bathroom, he came out and basically was like, "Yo, you should buy Dogecoin." And he went hard on Warren Buffett over Dogecoin. Apparently, when he got back, Justin wasn't there. And yeah, it's pretty funny. Tron's Justin Sun loses appetite as Elon Musk dodges Dogecoin's Warren Buffett. This is really funny. So I don't know if you knew, but Justin Sun was the head of a Tron cryptocurrency, and he was going to have, he won that meeting to have a sit down with Warren Buffett. And it didn't really not happen. We thought maybe, he said he was sick. He got something, he had like appendicitis or something. A lot of people think that the Chinese government came to him and told him that he wasn't allowed to have that meeting. We don't know why, but apparently something went on. So of Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk was elected CEO of Dogecoin via a public poll back in April 2019. However, he had resigned soon after. But Musk, who had been hiding, basically, while the Omaha Police Department is yet to comment on the matter, witness reports they have been revealing and giving a clear picture of what transpired at the private country club. According to witnesses, Musk, who had been hiding in the restroom, accosted Buffett when he was heading for the loo. "You gotta buy Dogecoin. Do the Doge," Musk was heard telling Buffett as the chocolate creme brulee was being served. The Oracle of Omaha, who had already gone 2 hours without his cans of cherry Coke, politely refused, however. Musk refused to relent and took Tron CEO Justin Sun, who had gone over to shill Tron to the maitre d's place besides Buffett. Following repeated attempts to ask him to leave, the former Dogecoin CEO was escorted out by police. However, not before Musk asked restaurant customers to do the Doge too. While the nature of the police action against Musk is still unclear, the entrepreneur had a chance to respond online. Had the opportunity to talk to the Oracle of Omaha about Dogecoin and its unlimited potential. Mr. Buffett was very convinced by my pitch. Anyone saying otherwise is peddling fake news. Come on, people. Do the Doge. Pretty funny. I think Doge went up since then. Can you trade it for Tether? You can on Binance. Look at the spike it had. Oh my God. It since has gotten sold down, but I heard Doge was up. Wow. Wow. So how much is Doge up now? Since the 3rd of February, it did 100% gains. Then it came all the way back down, but it still kept 30% gains since about a week ago on February 3rd. Doge, man, making a move back. And it actually has like a bit of a double pattern here, which did play out. We'll see what happens with Dogecoin. Doge. That Doge. And Link back to 334. Kind of flagging now. We're entering into that rising wedge. But we are flagging. If we are to break out of this flag.
Daddy, are you done live streaming?
Very soon, honey. If we are to break out of this flag, I see us hitting $4. It's a nice 70 cents on 330. Beautiful, beautiful move. You know, what is that, 18%? Let's see how good my brain is. If we were to buy right now at 334. 19.6%. Okay, so that's what I see happening. It's in this huge triangle that I was too lazy to complete because I was just like, you know it's a triangle, but let me just make it neat for my subscribers. Yeah, and I have another target here of 119% at $5.46 for Link. Link is something I would love. I was starting to accumulate here in this purple box. This is the spot to accumulate Link. I was really going hard for it. So that's the idea. But yeah. And it's Sunday, so the news is here, but it's not tons of news. We went over my trades. We went over what's going on. And yeah. I hate this. Entire crypto land is a scam. Like, what is this guy saying? I just like to read this. Entire crypto land is scam, Nuri Rubini says. Prominent economist Nuri Rubini goes on a Twitter rampage calling the entire crypto land a scam while Bitcoin price crosses 10,000. He probably put a bunch of money in and lost it all. The Nobel laureate and notorious Bitcoin hater Nouriel Roubini didn't join crypto Twitter to celebrate Bitcoin price crossing 10,000. Instead, he called the entire crypto land a scam when the top cryptocurrency was redying to make all new time highs. Commented on an article, Plus Token, published by the Wall Street Journal, its operators stole more than $4 billion from its unfortunate investors. However, the prominent economist is certain that crypto scams extend far beyond this massive Ponzi scheme and could amount to $40 billion. Despite Plus Token counting spike in selling pressure, Bitcoin bears fell short of Roubini's price target back in May. Galaxy Digital CEO challenged Dr. Doom to make a bet that Bitcoin would be trading above 6,000 on Christmas. Bitcoin bottomed out at 6,400 December 18th, and the Novographs turned out to be right. However, do not expect Roubini to wear I Love Bitcoin t-shirt since he had never accepted the bet in public. It's a lot of haters, man. It's good. When you're doing something great, you get a lot of haters. Any last things anyone wants me to go over? Any assets you want me to check? Anything you want me to double check before we go? Could check the price of gold, but I don't think we're there yet. So I'm still in this at 289. I did not get stopped out at 260. It'd be awesome if this goes even more. It'd be really awesome. So I'm still in my XTZ trade. Things are going well, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video.